Hello everyone, Pyro Watts from Hammer Bros Gaming. Alright, in this video, we're gonna take apart a PS3, put in some new thermal paste, and do some general cleaning. So this PS3 was a listing on eBay. The seller said there was an issue with the disk drive, it ejected a disk fine, but then they couldn't put another one in, so that's our first test. It's obviously pretty dirty. A lot of the vents are clogged up, and it doesn't look so bad once we get into it, but it's still kind of gross. So it was plugged in, booted up. I couldn't figure out which way to orient my thumb. Booted up just fine. I think I put a disc in. I think I forgot to eject it, but that doesn't really matter. Takes a disc in. I'm pretty sure it showed up ready to play on the screen, so there was no issues with the drive. Yes, tools. Various size torque. Phillips bits. Need the torque security bits. Some isopropyl alcohol, at least 70%, preferably 90. And then whatever you use to wipe with. Q-tips. Paper towels, something low lint, MX4 thermal paste or thermal paste of your choice, and then whatever you use, Datavac or just cans of air. I need to invest in a Datavac, but anyways. Alright, we take off, these screws are all Phillips, kind of a regular size. The ones inside are a little smaller. You have to take all the little squares out, except for that one in the corner by the hard drive screw. There's no screw underneath that pad. Warranty void label, those mean nothing anymore. Yeah, that's a touchy subject for some people, but in any case, yeah, pretty dusty. On the front edge here, those are the security screws. There's 3 or 4 depending on which model PS3 Slim you have. Here we are. We're in. Have all my other stuff ready. So many big pieces of dust. In any case, the next step, take the power and eject button off. You can't get to the ribbon yet, so you just have to set it aside. I think I'm inspecting all the dust that got built up in that somehow. Unplug the cables on your power supply. You'll need your slightly smaller Phillips bit. Definitely want to use magnetic screwdrivers at this point. They're kind of hard to take out and put back in, especially on the power supply. finally. Alright, this pulls straight up. There's a couple prongs underneath that it sets on, so pull it straight up. Yes, more dust. So the next should be taking the, oh yes. The angle was really weird. Just couldn't see back there when I was doing this. So the black wire will be towards the outside of the console, and the white wire will be towards the inside. That's your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, or whatever it is for your controller and internet. Unplug the disk drive. There's a little tab that you pull up on that will release that ribbon cable. The next thing we're looking for here is there's 3 black screws, and then there's 2 silver screws. Those hold this whole thing onto the kind of the plastic case underneath. Luckily, as far as I know, with most Sony consoles, for each layer that you go through, they put little arrows on the case that will tell you where the screws are, where they go, which is very helpful. Microsoft does not do that. They really don't want you messing with stuff, but well, too bad. So the 2 silver ones go up by the hard drive cage. File that away for later when we're reassembling everything. So the motherboard should be free at this point. There's 5 more. Yes, you need to pull up. Now you can pull out that ribbon cable. Just a little blue plastic tab. Just pulls right out. There are 5 more on the bottom. I am pushing all the screws off my workspace, folks. Really, this is the first generation of consoles where the components started being powerful enough. The manufacturers had to start really accounting for all that heat. So a big problem with the older models, the launch models of PS3, they were just so hot that really the ventilation wasn't designed very well. Just heat caused a lot of issues with the PCB was pretty thick, but it would still get hot enough to flex. So that's what a lot of this is. All these screws and the metal plates and stuff. It's kind of there to help it, prevent it from flexing. The slim models had a much better cooling system. You saw that big fan on the other side that really pushed air out rather than just kind of taking it away and spreading it. Like the original PS3's fan was really big, but I'm not sure how much it actually kind of pushed air out of the case. So we'll carefully try to pull the PCB away from the heat sinks here. The thermal paste is going to hold it on, and at this point, if you haven't redone the thermal paste, it would be a good idea. This one was pretty dried out. Struggling here. I think it's the wires. If you wanted to take the wires just out completely so you didn't have to fight with them, you could. Just make note of where they plug in so that you can put them back where they belong. I don't know if you can see it in this. Well, eventually I'll set it down and we'll be able to look at it. I don't know what's taking me so long, but if you look at the metal, yeah, if you look at where the heat sinks are for the fan, where the plates are, there's little pads on that shell. We're using the alcohol here to clean off all the old paste. You want a very clean surface to reapply on. As you can see, it's just coming off in pieces, and that's no good. So back to the shell. You can see the couple pads on it right now. If those are dry and not sticking, it would be a good idea to buy some new ones and replace it. You can buy them. You have to cut them to size, but they're not that expensive. I'm not really sure right now how much they would be, but they help prolong the life of your system, of course. So replacing the thermal paste, those of you who are new to this, thermal paste is for transferring heat. It helps with it. Fills in all the little air gaps that you can't see. Creates a very good connection, I guess, between the heatsink and the processors. Or I should say the graphics unit and the CPU. Normally I hadn't done this part, but where this system was so dirty, I wanted to take it apart and make sure I cleaned the fan and cleaned those surfaces of the heat sinks really well. It wasn't so dirty, but just to make sure all that old thermal paste is gone. sure they're dry. Ooh. So as you can see, there's 3 different spots with pads. I wish I could pause it and highlight them for you. All right, so we have enough for 1, but not both. And so there was I had a packet that came with some other cooler, whatever. The viscosity was a little different, and it works, but just buy the tube. The tube is the best way to go. See, it's pretty thick when I put it on. Luckily I had enough, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to finish this project, but yeah. In any case, make sure you have plenty of paste for these just make sure you have plenty of paste on these. One of them is the cell processor, which is 6 cores, so those 2 things are actually heat spreaders. The actual chip is underneath, or chips. So you definitely, especially that cell processor with 6 different chiplets, you need to make sure that gets full coverage. We're gonna put this the top back on. You want to make sure once you press it down, that's it. Don't move it too much. That will affect the paste job. So when we put this back on, we want to put these screws in, tighten them down, kind of alternating between all 4 so we get a nice even pressure. We don't end up with high or low spots. Just nice even, keeps that even layer of thermal compound. Don't forget the 5 small screws in the back, because it stinks when you put it all in and you realize, hey, what are these? What are these for? Back in the case we go. Settled in there quite nicely. Make sure the fan's connected. I think I had issues with this one where I must have found out after this that fan cable was not connected properly, so it wasn't spinning, and I had it overheat once, which I don't see how that would have happened, but it does. Get that blue tab put in. on, you got this. And we don't click it in just yet. You need the Blu-ray drive in there first. 2 silver screws go by the hard drive cage. And again, the arrows show where the next screw goes. Remember, there's 3 black screws. There's one spot. It's down by where the 2 wires for your disk drive plug-in. That the Blu-ray drive needs to be in the system to put in. That has an arrow, so just be aware. The way this goes back in is a little strange. Kind of have to put the front in underneath the eject button. The eject button will sit on top and click in on top of it. Yeah, one of the ribbon cables needs to go back in. That's what I was fighting with. Alright, so with the drive in place, you can click that eject and power button back in, reroute your Wi-Fi and controller cables. Remember, the white is towards the inside, the black cable is towards the outside. Then the one last interior black screw to hold the drive in place. The ribbon cable, make sure you lift the tab, and then once you get it in place, push that little tab back down. And I tried messing with the tape, but honestly I just ripped it out. Ripped through it. Whatever. Alright. Don't forget to plug your cables back in. Alright, so that one's the one to the drive, this one's the one to the power supply. Set it back down on those posts. Should feel it click in, sort of. Make sure that's routed properly. Now this is tricky to get these set up right and drop them in there. This is why those magnetic screwdrivers come in handy. I fumbled a little bit on this. If anyone has a better way, please let me know. Success. Don't forget, plug your cable back in. Alright, cables are plugged back in, ready to put the top shell back on. Need to start at the front of the console, and then it should all just click in nicely. Alright, I'm gonna start with the security bits. All of that up with the hard drive, which gets the one blue-tipped screw, then all the longer screws. Don't forget to put the little caps back on. The 3 in the corners will be the rubber feet, and then the rest will be just the flat plastic ones. Alright, if this video was helpful for you, please like, subscribe, do all that other good YouTube stuff. If you want to see more console repair and maintenance videos, let me know what you'd like to see next. I think we have most of the newer I say newer. Let's see, we have let's see, 360, PS3. I think we have everything from there that we can show you. So let us know. Don't forget to check us out on Twitch. And we have a channel called HBG Shorts. Check that out as well. We try to post daily there. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. Have a good day, everyone. And we'll see you next time.